Hey friends, it's Tess. This is Wander Wealthy, and today we're going to be diving into how you can fill the void when it comes to spending money, so you can stop spending money and start living a more full, functional, and wealthy life. I wanted to thank two people who actually requested this video, because during the No Spend Challenge, which was back in May, I made a video on how you can stop spending money. I will link it up over there. Rockness15 and Helianaze, they requested a video further discovering and explaining how to fill the void that we all get when we are pressured or feel the need or feel the feelings of needing to spend money. And so that's what we're gonna tackle today. It's gonna be a little bit mindset, a little bit action, but kind of a marrying of the two. And I'm really excited to share it with you because I think it will help you, especially if you're ready to take the getting your spending under control to the next level. Now, before I set up my camera, make sure you hit that subscribe button plus the little bell so you can be notified. I upload new videos on a weekly basis. I'm going to be starting to do it every single Wednesday. So once a week on Wednesday, you can come back here and get videos on personal finance, personal development, and travel here at Wander Wealthy. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so in the video where I talked about how to stop spending money, one of the things was to start identifying your emotions and figuring out the feelings that you were feeling when you were triggered to spend money. Those feelings usually come with this, and if you are a spender, you probably resonate with this, where you have this void feeling. You're trying to fill this void in your life, whether that's the feeling of not being enough, not having enough. Maybe it's the feeling of wanting something beautiful in your life or wanting something new in your life. And it's really important to identify those feelings and figure out where they come from. So I'm gonna explain exactly how you can get control of those feelings and create essentially new feelings based on your thoughts. I warned you in that previous video that if you wanted me to start talking about this deeper, it was going to get a little bit woo-woo in a sense. I still personally believe there's a lot of tangibility here, but it is going to get into this area or this space where no longer is it, okay, how do I save money, set up a separate bank account, and automate your money to go to that bank account when you get paid every single month. This is a lot more with controlling your mindset and those feelings, which is that void feeling, the entire subject of this video. The first thing you have to understand is that you have full control over how you feel. And what I talked about in that last video was how we often act on our feelings today. So we have this idea, maybe we're scrolling through Instagram and we're feeling this inadequacy because these other people's lives look so amazing. Spoiler alert, they're not, but we still have this feeling because we're looking at Instagram and we're seeing these other people's lives. That triggers something, and in our heads we're thinking, wow, their lives are so much better than mine. They have designer things. They have a beautiful organized house. They have this, and this, and this, and I have none of that. So that's where those voids are created. They're created from these feelings, or they're created inside of these feelings. Maybe the void is the feeling itself. I don't quite know, but they're coming from the thoughts that we have about other people's lives. And that is just one example. You can come up with your own example, but identify why you're feeling this way and where it is coming from. Just do that. So that is kind of step number one. Once you've identified this feeling, you need to kind of backtrack and figure out, where did this feeling come from? For me, a lot of the times it is social media. What I do get the ping for is business related expenses, and the other one is home decor. Oh, she has that really awesome green velvet couch that I want, and it looks beautiful in her home, and her home is so beautiful and put together. If I get that green velvet couch, I'm gonna feel like my home is all beautiful and put together. So that's just a very blanket example, and we're going all the way back to specifically social media and where the certain voids come from for me. So you need to do this for yourself. Okay, so as I had mentioned in the previous video, we often act on our feelings that we have today. So my feeling is, my house isn't beautiful unless I get that green velvet couch, and then it's gonna be organized, and somehow fairies are gonna be released through the couch and clean up after it, and I have all these feelings and thoughts trickling in my head, making up a story about what my life is going to be like and how I want to feel because of the resolution of filling this void. So if I were to act on this feeling, I would go out and I would buy the green velvet couch. And that's what a lot of people do, is they act on their feelings of needing to fill some sort of emptiness or lack of enoughness or whatever your void is. We go out and we act on it because we believe we will feel a certain way in the future. What I had mentioned in that video was to back up and determine, what is that feeling you want to feel in the future? So if we're looking at my situation, it is organized, clean, like a clean house, and probably, you know, as far as that couch would make me feel, maybe it's fancy or regal. So I can identify what those future feelings would be. And obviously I'm acting on my feeling today of not feeling those things and thinking that buying this thing, this couch, is going to make me feel that way. 100% of the time, the things that you buy do not actually make you feel a certain way. What actually makes you feel organized? What actually makes you feel regal? Or we can replace regal with confident, how about? What actually makes you feel like you have your shit together? Those are my three kind of identifying, I wish I had that. And if I had that, those are the three things I would feel. Well, organized would be actually cleaning up my house and organizing it, not getting a new piece of furniture. But I see this person's picture and I start imagining my life with that thing, and somehow that thing is going to turn my life around. Is that correct? No, we know that. Okay, what's gonna make me feel confident? Well, definitely not having more things in my life. What's going to make me feel confident is just how I feel about myself and the thoughts that I choose to have about myself. And what is going to make me feel like I have my life together? It sure as hell isn't gonna be a new couch. It sure as hell isn't gonna be those new Gucci slides. It sure as hell isn't going to be, I don't know, just a basic shopping spree at Target. In fact, getting new stuff in my life is probably gonna make me feel like I have less of my shit together, because now I'm just bringing more in without having control of my current stuff. Okay, so how do we fix this? How do we fill the void without literally trying to fill the void with this stuff? Well, we need to back up and we need to determine where those feelings are coming from and why we even have those feelings. So stick with me. There's a basic model that a lot of people reference, and it's the fact that we have full control over our thoughts. This has come from a number of books and podcasts that I've listened to in the past, or I've read in the past. From the very well and pretty old book, Think and Grow Rich, to a more modern book, Tapping into Wealth, to a podcast that I've been listening to a lot, The Life Coach School. And it's the fact that we have full control over our thoughts. The funny thing is, thoughts impact our feelings. We decide to take action based on our feelings, and then our actions produce our results. Where do thoughts come from? Well, there's triggers that can impact our thoughts. And triggers often come from things that we would call circumstances. For me, I'm scrolling through social media, someone posts a picture of a beautiful house with a green velvet couch, and that's the circumstance. They post that picture. Now, I do have control over whether I even look at social media or not, and that's a whole nother story. Even if this was just an advertisement that was on a billboard on a road that I have to drive by every single day and I see it, so instead of just being on social media, but it's an ad that I can't avoid, this is a circumstance. It's something I do not control. Now, I could control it. I could go out of my way to not see it. I could go out of my way to not look at social media, and that is something that I could totally do. But at the end of the day, I've already seen it because I'm driving on my way to work and I see this ad and I have no control over the fact that I already saw it. What I can control is the thought that I have about that ad. So my original thought is, oh my gosh, this chick has her life together, her house is beautiful, it's so organized, she probably just has her shit figured out, she's probably super regal and really confident. I want to be those things. And all of a sudden, those thoughts create this feeling of I'm not those things. So it creates that void feeling, that feeling of not being enough, not being confident enough, not having cute enough stuff, not being organized enough, all of that stuff. That feeling creates that action of, I need to go spend money on this stuff. And that action creates the result of me buying it and actually not filling the void of wanting to feel organized or feel confident or feel like I have my shit together. Okay, so you can see how these things trickle. Now, what could I do to change this? Well, first of all, I obviously could avoid these circumstances. I could avoid social media. But if you can't avoid them, because avoiding isn't always the answer, then you need to just accept that as facts in your life. So if we can accept those as facts in our life and then choose the thoughts that we have about them, that's where the real change can come in. I have these thoughts of thinking this chick has her life together and me getting that stuff will help me get my life together, because currently I'm thinking that my life isn't that. Instead, I can change my thoughts. Even if it's not true, I can change my thoughts. And here's the really cool thing. Your brain doesn't know the difference between fact and what you tell it is fact. So your brain can't decipher between a fact that you read that is true and a fact that you read that is false. It believes what you tell it. So you can tell your brain thoughts that aren't even true, and eventually your brain will start acting on those thoughts because it believes that they are true. So instead of me looking at this picture and believing and telling myself and having the thoughts of I'm unorganized, I'm not confident, and I am not in a place where I have my shit together, I can start feeding myself the thoughts of, we can either start extreme and I go, I'm organized. I keep all of my stuff in order. I never take something out and don't put it back into its place. And I can start telling myself those thoughts, or we can start lighter. We can go, you know what? I'm kind of a mess right now, but there's nothing wrong with that. And buying a new couch definitely isn't going to fix that. Same thing with the confidence. I can either decide to tell myself, I'm confident. I have every reason to be confident. I know exactly what I do, why I do it, and the words that are coming out of my mouth. Or I can choose to have the thought of, you know what? I'm working on my confidence, and every single day I'm building that confidence little by little, because every single day I have more experience in life, I have more experience in the work that I do, and I am getting there. And buying this new green couch, buying those new clothes, buying that new beauty product isn't gonna make me any more confident, because I am who I am, and that's okay with me. Same thing with the having my shit together. I mean, you can just replicate everything I said for confidence. Every single day, I'm working on getting my shit even more together. You're watching this video, you are doing just that. And so starting to twist those thoughts into more positive thoughts instead of having negative thoughts, oh, I don't have my life together, what am I gonna do? I better buy this couch because that girl has her life together, and if I get a couch, I'm gonna be just like that. You can tweak those thoughts. So we need to take it from, what are the actions that we're taking right now? What are the spending problems we're having right now? And how can we figure out why those happen? Why did I go out and buy this stuff, that stuff, and the other stuff? Where did those things come from? And if you can backtrack those actions or those results to the actions of you actually going to the store or you browsing on the internet, and backtrack those actions to the feelings you were feeling in the moment, which was, in my example, not being enough in these different ways, not confident, organized, have my shit together enough. And then backtrack that to the thoughts that you have, which are similar to the feelings. And then backtrack that to the actual circumstances that triggered that. That's when you can start to get better control over your life. It's not just control over your spending and your spending habits or your spending problem, but it's control over a lot of aspects of your life. The things you choose to do every single day when you wake up in the morning, or the action that you fail to take, is all because of the thoughts that you have about various aspects of your life, okay? So I hope that that makes sense. I think I'll leave you with this, and that is that you cannot control how people think about you. You can't control the things that you see that make you feel a certain way. You can't control the weather. You can't control, at least fast enough, where you live, what you do for a job, the people that you work with. But you can control the thoughts that you have about all of those things. If you can control your thoughts about all of those things, you can control your feelings. And your feelings impact your actions. So at the end of the day, you can control your spending because you can control the thoughts that you have about the things that have originally triggered you to spend, okay? If you want to dive deeper into this topic, I've talked extensively about it in the Wealthy Wanderers private Facebook community. So I encourage you to go to wanderwealthy.com/FB, check out my Facebook Lives from April and May, where I talk a lot about spending, and I think that you'll really enjoy getting deeper into the information that I share there, as well as some book recommendations and some exercises, some journaling prompts. I kind of just give you as many tools that you can use to then go and start changing your spending behaviors and ultimately your life. So I will see you there. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel. If you loved this video, give it a thumbs up so I know to make more like this. And until next time, I hope you wander wealthy. Bye.